I'd like to introduce you to the chairman of our party, Jaime Harrison.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Charleston Democrats. Come on, y'all can do better than that. Good afternoon, Charleston Democrats. Yeah. Well, listen, I always enjoy being here for the Blue Jamboree. It is always a fun time. We have folks who come all over the state to be a part of such a great event when we can get Democrats together here in beautiful Charleston. We're even joined here today. I know that Governor Haley has sent her tracker here for us today, and I actually have a joke that I want to share that I actually got from a Republican, and I'm sure the governor probably will enjoy this once she hears it. So the story starts out that a South Carolinian gives up the ghost and goes to heaven. And St. Peter is giving him the orientation, showing him all around heaven. And the South Carolinian sees this wall. It's just miles long of nothing but clocks. And he goes to St. Peter and he says, St. Peter, what's up? Why do we have all these clocks up in heaven? And St. Peter says, well, these are the clocks about whether or not individuals are lying or not. And he said, you see that clock right there? It was set on 12 o'clock. And he said, that was Mother Mary. Never told a lie in her life. You see that clock there? 12:05. Well, that was just Gandhi. He only told 2 or 3 lies. And then the guy said, well, St. Peter, I'm from South Carolina. Where's Governor Haley's clock? St. Peter chuckled a little bit. Well, he said, you see, Jesus' office is over there, right? The governor's clock is on the ceiling. And he said, why is it on the ceiling? And he chuckled again. He said, well, the clock only moves when you're telling a lie. So let me say again, thank you all for having us here in Charleston. We just came out of a reckless government shutdown, driven by Jim DeMint, driven by Tim Scott, Mark Sanford, and all of their Tea Party followers. And today is a tough reminder of the horrible leadership that we have here in South Carolina. Because today marks the 1-year anniversary that the Department of Revenue was hacked into, that exposed millions of South Carolina families and businesses to identity theft. Because 1 year ago today was when Nikki Haley finally came off of the mountaintop 16 days later to decide to let us South Carolinians know that our information had been stolen. Every day our people and businesses in this state are struggling. South Carolina wages are falling. We have one of the highest unemployment rates in the country. And South Carolina is one of the hardest places to make a living.
Yes, it is.
These are some tough times for sure, my friends. But being here today, and as we travel the state, talking with people about what's important for our state and our country and how to move the state forward, I have hope. I can tell you that despite all of these negatives about where we are now, the future is looking up for South Carolina. And we're looking at a brighter, more prosperous tomorrow if we come together right now. We're in a good place as Democrats. We have a Congressman, Jim Clyburn, every day fighting for us. He was fighting to make sure that the government remained open and that we didn't destroy the faith and credit of the United States. Let's thank Congressman Clyburn for all of his efforts fighting for South Carolina. We have a governor here who in this state is deeply vulnerable. I know all of you saw the latest polls. Vincent Shaheen, who's our only declared candidate for governor, is right there with her in a statistical tie. We can do this. We have more candidates like Bakari Sellers, who's ready to run all the way down the ticket to replace these Tea Party leaders that we have here in this state. We have a growing network of Democrats committed to bringing new leadership in the state. So we're in a pretty good place as a party. Of course, we got a long way to go, but we can't do it alone. That's why we're starting early and building a grassroots network of local Democrats, so we're ready to support our candidates and win in 2014. So please sign up to volunteer with Believe in South Carolina today. Believe in South Carolina is the coordinated campaign that we've set up this year. Only by coming together will we ensure that we elect new leadership here in South Carolina. By coming together, we will have new House members who will not force a government shutdown over politics and political vendettas. We will have new senators who will stand up to Nikki Haley and the Washington establishment to work across the aisle and get things done. We'll have new statewide leadership to stop Columbia from becoming just as dysfunctional as Washington, D.C. By coming together, we can take back our state, my friends, and we're well poised to do that. So the future is very bright for us. But before I close today, let me say this. We have labeled our coordinated campaign for 2014 as Believe in South Carolina. Believe in South Carolina. We did this because we do believe in the greatness of the state and the greatness of the people that make up this state. So when we talk about change here in South Carolina, this isn't a political game for Democrats. This, my friends, is personal. We are sick and tired of having poor and working class people in this state being used as political pawns by the likes of Nikki Haley and Tim Scott. We are sick and tired of having the Republican representatives of this state say one thing to the people and vote another way in the dark of night. We are sick and tired of having our schools fall down and crumble before us. We are sick and tired of not having good paying jobs for our citizens. Nikki Haley is now bouncing around the state saying how she supports education, how she supports the arts, how she supports health care, when all we know, for the last 3 years, she opposed every single one of those things. My friends, this race in 2014 is personal. It is a race for the heart and soul of this state. We can't lose because too much is at stake. So before I step down from this podium today, I have a challenge for Nikki Haley and Tim Scott. So, you all know we're approaching the holiday season. So when Haley goes to Bamberg for the holidays, and she sees those friends that are struggling in the economy that she's built here in South Carolina, I want her to look them square in the eye and say, she opposes providing health care to them and their families because she opposes Barack Obama. I want her to look them in the eyes and tell them that she must have skipped that Bible lesson about helping the least of these. I want her to tell them that she is not her brother's keeper. And for Tim Scott, oh Tim Scott, we haven't forgotten about you. We have not forgotten about you. We know that you are the Jim DeMint clone. So Tim, when you come back here to Charleston for the holidays, I want you to look in the eyes of the families and friends and explain to them why you oppose health care for all. Explain to them why you voted against the Violence Against Women Act when South Carolina is the worst in the nation in deaths of women. I want you to explain to them why you believe it is good policy to shut down our government and risk the full faith and credit of the United States. My friends, while the likes of Tim Scott and Nikki Haley take this as a political game, we are making this personal. I need you to stand up. I need you to be silent no longer. I need you to reach out to every Democrat in this state because we need to win this. We need to win it for the people of South Carolina. Thank you all for coming out today, and I look forward to working with you all to create a brighter future for all of us here in South Carolina. God bless you all.